then Tom Bauer goes on to describe how Harry and Meghan had become ensconced with Anita Hill. She is the woman, if you recall, who tried to make sure that the conservative Supreme Court Judge Clarence Thomas was not able to take up his judgeship. And she came out and she said that Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, was yet one more black woman of stature and credential who was having to fight the historic civil rights battle because of the color of her skin. America would never love her the way they should. And Anita Hill wanted everybody to know that she knew the hardship and she was sorry for Meghan, and that Meghan was written into the history books because she represented a fabric woven into the entire chronicle of American story of racism. I feel like it was to Anita Hill's detriment to align herself like this with Meghan. I think that there are a lot of people who were sympathetic to Anita Hill at one point. And I think that there are a lot of people willing to believe her story, that there were a lot of people who wanted Clarence Thomas to recede into the darkness, and there are a lot of people propping up Anita Hill. But for her to come out and say that Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, as she referred to Meghan, that Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, had lived the same blighted life as every other black American, and that America's full of vicious racists who will put anybody down. I think that it really discredited Anita Hill in a lot of respects. I think anybody who was willing to side with Meghan has now been incredibly discredited. But I think that there was enough evidence even at this time that any thinking individual should have been able to see, I'm not going to give a voice for Meghan. I'm just going to steer clear of that hot mess. Bauer goes on at some length about the Anita Hill situation. I'm just sick and tired of talking about race, so I'm skipping it. But I will say that the NAACP's President's Award was given to the Sussexes in recognition for their distinguished public service and philanthropic contributions. I want to remind you that that award had previously given to people like Muhammad Ali, Jesse Jackson, Colin Powell, and Rihanna. So people of different notable worth. Meghan's achievement looked impressive until the organization announced at the same ceremony a new NAACP Archwell Digital Civil Rights Award. Oh, so they bribed their way into this award, did they? What a shock. Worth $100,000, the recipients would be recognized for inspiring the next generation of activists. Guess who was the first recipient of it? Oh, could it be? One Sophia Noble, the UCLA professor, already financed by Archwell, to study how digital technologies intersect with culture, race, and gender. Remember, she wrote that mind-numbing book called Algorithms of Oppression: How Search Engines Reinforce Racism. Okay. So they've bought their way into this award. The first person to get the award is somebody that they're already funding. And who should be in charge of the publicity for this little shindig? Oh, Sunshine Sachs. Just as Jose Andres, the chef who nominated the Sussexes to be Time Magazine's icon, had himself received $25,000 from Archwell for his kitchen charity, the Sussexes charity had promoted the couple and their causes with the NAACP. Transactional arrangements to promote the Sussexes were questionable and possibly contrary to the Internal Revenue Code. Possibly 100%. There were legal limits of giving financial help to an individual associated with a charity. And the source of the $100,000 was inexplicable. I talked about this at the top of the episode. In its first year's accounts, Archwell had raised less than $50,000. The charity's finances remained shrouded in mystery, but its prime purpose was clear: publicizing the Sussexes. This is not charity work that they are devoting all of this money to. This is all just so that they can continue to stand on top of the world and say, we're more important than anybody you've ever seen. We're also more victimized than anybody you've ever seen. We're more anything than anybody's ever seen. Bow down to us. Pay us homage. Oh, filthy ethics, these people. Just filthy.